Jeremiah did not scream one time. He was totally cooperative with the doctor and what we needed to get done. That is a huge
That's
victory for us.
huge.
Huge victory because
Huge.
there would be times when he didn't want to get his blood pressure taken. He didn't even want to step on the scale to get weighed. He didn't want to get his his heart check. All these things that again, for a so to speak typical family, that's nothing. I mean, like you might get some pushback from toddlers and whatnot. I get that. But like for him, it was so overwhelming that it would just be a struggle. And I've left restaurants, I've left doctor's appointments, I've left school even, I've left church crying because it's just some days are just harder than others.
Yeah.
But the good thing is, if there's a hard day, there's always going to be a good day. And that's what I just kind of look forward to. Like, tomorrow's going to be better. Today wasn't perfect. That's the reality of any person's life. There's going to be
Right.
good things that happen in our life, there's going to be bad things. But for me, I just keep hope and I keep
Yeah.
faith that, hey, tomorrow's going to be better.
Yeah.
Tomorrow we're going to accomplish this. Tomorrow we're going to accomplish that. Like just keeping that hope and that faith alive. And typically things always get better.
Yes. Oh, I love it so much. And yeah, I can so relate to your doctor's your doctor's my son. He was diagnosed with tuberous sclerosis and epilepsy at 6 months old.
Wow. Wow.
And, from 6 months old, it's been a lot of pokes and blood draws and blood
Yeah.
pressure and EEGs and then you add the autism on top of that and all of the
Yeah.
sensory findings. But you just remember that first doctor's appointment where you're like, okay, it all went fine. And it does. It's like how many times do we play doctor at home with the doctor's kids?
I like.
um, yeah, but then it all works out, and I love it that you're like, you know what, today wasn't great, but tomorrow's gonna be better.
Yes,
Um,
absolutely.
yeah. Um, so how have you found like reaching out to other moms, in different groups and different things like that, to kind of help your family? Do you have any advice for anybody who's listening that's kind of like, oh, I've just kind of been staying in my own world? Um,
I think when you isolate yourself, you limit yourself.
ooh, I love that. Ooh, I love
When
that.
you isolate yourself, you limit yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Isolation is, I would say, one of the biggest things that keeps people from progression. When they are afraid to move forward, when they are afraid to um, meet other people, connect with other people, do something daring, go for something they've always believed in, always dreamed in, when they are sitting at home isolating themselves because of fear, because of um, not being content, lack of self confidence, um, fear,
That
they
one
will
keeps coming
not
up.
forward um, to try new things.
Yeah.
And when you isolate yourself, look at all the things you're missing out on. And as hard and as difficult as it is, even for me, um, to do this, like I'm scared. I'm so afraid. I'm so scared to do this because there's a thought of, is anybody gonna come?
Yeah.
Is this gonna be a failure? You know?
Uh-huh.
But I look at the other hand and say, can I impact one family?
Yes.
We already have put a lot of people that have signed up, which is super exciting. You
Yeah.
know, in 2, 3 days, I'm kind of overwhelmed with the numbers, and we're looking for a certain number. But like, who can I impact instead of
Yeah.
isolating myself by stepping out and saying, "Hey, I want to do something so we can all connect." Who can I impact? What child can I help? What parent can I help? What opportunity can I give for a family to have a good night,
Yeah.
to have a good meal, to have a sense of joy and happiness? Can I do that? Or am I going to sit here and complain about everything that's going wrong in my life and how I wish this, that, and the other? Or am I going to get out of isolation and take a step of faith and take a step that is kind of shaky and just go for it. Typically, when people move out of that isolation stage and move into participation stage, they find so much joy. They find new doors, new opportunities, just by taking a step of faith.
Yeah.
And so it is easier said than done. I will not even lie. It is so much easier to say, oh, I'll do this, I'll do that. Um, but when you do it, you get a sense of fulfillment. Hey, I took a step.
Yeah.
I did it. And this can apply to so many different areas of your life. Um, it just can. I'm thinking about going back to school as a non traditional student, having 3 kids at the time. I found out that Jeremiah was autistic. I think about my 3rd week into going back to school for culinary arts.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I thought for probably a couple seconds, well, school's done.
Yeah.
That was my thought. School is done because I need to be here for him. I need to make sure that I'm, fully present and all of that. But I had a good support system that was able to help me with him, excellent daycare provider, all of that. We got him into Bellevue Public Schools, early intervention, things of that sort. And I kept on going. Even though it was shaky, even though it was difficult, oh my goodness, it was scary. I always thought going back to school, being in my 30s, that I'd be the oldest person. And I went there, and there are people way older. I was like, yes, I'm
I
not
love
the
it.
oldest. But
Ah.
here's the thing, though. Several years later, um, I am now able to cater. I have a small catering business. I've done nearly 30 caterings this year alone. Last year, I don't even know, I don't have the number of how many caterings that I've done, but the opportunity to, again, impact families, impact children by giving them a nice nutritional meal has been phenomenal. But now I'm carrying that over into connecting culinary arts and connecting autism with our gathering place. Had I stopped and isolated myself and just said, okay, let me take me and my children and sit in this corner and
Yeah.
hope for the best, or take a step of faith, keep pursuing my dream, and look at the amazing opportunities and doors that have opened. Um, Not just on this scale, but just on smaller scales, meeting other parents, getting empowered by their stories, connecting my story to their story. It's just been phenomenal. There are days that I am down and
Yeah.
somebody will send me a text or somebody will call me or somebody will say, we're so excited about what you're getting ready to do. That empowers me. And I hope that I'm able to rely that same kind of hope to other parents as well.
Yeah. It's so awesome. It's again, I'm just so happy for you and proud for
Thank you.
you and that you just kept persevering.
Yeah.
When you felt like the world is falling apart on me, you kept going. There are those days. Uh,
Absolutely. I like to call myself an overcomer.
yeah, I love it.
Uh, yeah, I've overcame a lot of obstacles in my life. Like special needs, cool. I've had to overcome even harder things. I got pregnant at 19 years old. I got married. I got divorced around 24 years old. I have just dealt with a number of things, and I just believe that I am an overcomer. That's what I tell myself.
That's
You're an
awesome.
overcomer.
Yeah.
You are an overcomer. And I think for parents who have kids on the spectrum and special needs in general, like you have to encourage your own self and you
Uh,
have to affirm your own self. You have to speak positivity into your own self because your kids need you. And if
yes.
you are constantly down and depressed, and it's easier said than done. I just said I have days that are difficult, but when
Right.
you have the mindset of we're going to get through this, I'm a good mom.
Yeah.
Despite what anybody says, I'm a good
Absolutely.
mom. I'm a good dad. My children are amazing. My children are special. I am called to bring out the best in them. When you are seriously saying those things all the time,
Yeah.
good is going to happen.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's awesome. And that's really kind of where redefining normal came from for us. Was that
Okay.
we're like, we were just something would happen or a situation and be like, oh, we're just redefining normal, you know.
I love that. I
And we
love
just kind of
that. That's
giggle.
good.
My husband said that to me the other day. You're just redefining normal. I'm like,
Wow. I like
that's
that.
right, I am. But I
Hmm.
wasn't, it's interesting that you say this because I wasn't necessarily planning on going this route with you. But the self talk I think is huge.
Oh, yeah.
Because I shared a blog the other day about speaking with a mom who had said, "When did I become the monster?" And it's like that was self-talk that she was giving herself.
Wow. Wow.
And that you're putting that into your own brain. And I have this discussion. So I see a lot of um, parents and moms in groups and different things. They'll do a post and they'll say, "I hate tuberous sclerosis. I hate
Mm,
epilepsy. I hate autism," or whatever. They can put their own thing with it, and
right.
that right there, it honestly, it like stops me in my tracks, makes me
Mm,
kind of grab a breath because I've truly have never used those words
yeah.
because I don't want to put that out into the environment,
Wow.
and I don't want my brain to hear that such a powerful, strong, negative word
Mm,
that really I understand it's directed towards the condition,
absolutely.
but it's your child with that condition.
That's
It's your
right.
friend's
That's
child
right.
with that.
Yeah.
So I think that's really huge when you were saying that, just the things that we're saying all the time, the more positive it can be,
Hmm.
the better our worlds are going to be.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, I'm a woman of faith, and so I like to speak faith talk, even if I don't see it. Like, for instance, with Jeremiah, I would say, because he just said mom or mommy for the first time last year,
Oh,
he's 7.5 now.
yeah.
Um, um, and that was something that I just always held on to that he would say eventually. I remember the very first meeting when Bellevue Public Schools came into my house, and there's like literally like 8 to 10 people in my living room, um, you know, principals, speech pathologists, OTPT, psychologist, all these people in my living room to
Yeah.
basically give me the official diagnosis from their perspective that he was autistic before we had the medical diagnosis. And they said they're going over all this stuff, and IEP, this is all new to me, all foreign, all new.
Yep.
And they said, did you have any questions or did you want to say anything? And I said, I've never heard him say mom. And I just cried. I'm like, I heard what you guys had to say, but I've never heard him say mom. And that was kind of a cleansing thing for me to like verbalize
Get it
that
out.
feeling that I had. And then after I did that, I was like, he knows who I am.
Yeah.
He knows who I am. So if he never says it, okay. But then I started my faith talk and I'd be like, Jeremiah, you will speak. Like, this is things that we say said over him every night. You will speak.
Yeah.
You are healthy. You are whole. You will speak. You are healthy. You are whole. We would say these things, and then little by little, some of his vocabulary would start to come. And when he said, Mommy, I was like, I was
Stop the
like, who?
world.
What? Huh? Who? What'd you say? And he's
Yeah.
like, Mommy. And I'm like, of course, I lost it,
Oh
and I still
yeah.
get emotional to this day. Because, wow, when you wait for something, it can happen, or you're hopeful
Yeah.
that it can happen, and it hasn't 6 years, 7 years, 10 years, 20 years, whatever you're hoping and believing for. And then it finally happens.
Uh
It's just overwhelming. And that's what that moment has been. And now he's like, Mommy.
Now you're
And
like,
I'm
okay,
like,
a little less. No.
I know. But it's so awesome. It's like, thank you, Lord. Like, this has happened. It's just
Yeah.
it's just so heartwarming for me. Um, But the faith talk, the self talk, the affirmations, the declarations, you've